Alright, welcome back ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the sim racing, iRacing adventures here from Sven Matisse. Now this time we are going to be watching a race here in the BMW M4 GT4, just like last time. A fixed series that we have. And basically this is the BMW M Power Tour, which is a fixed setup race. And this time we are over at Circuito de Navarra in Spain. Now, before we started this race, we are at a 3.27 safety rating and an iRating rating of 515. So we're going to be trying to get that up here. We're starting from the back here, unfortunately. We're going to be starting in P16 out of 17 drivers after not setting a valid lap in qualifying there. So that's going to be a little bit of a tough one, unfortunately. Now, the average strength here is 817, so we are in quite a tough lobby here, looking to get going and get a good start and looking to gain some more points here as well. So yeah, that's basically how it's looking right now. We're once again participating in the BMW M4 as well as in the F4, which you will see next video as well. The Formula 4 series is also one we participate in. And now Circuito de Navarra is an interesting one. A circuit liked by a lot, but also disliked by many, as this track features some quite nasty corners. And also the fact that this is actually quite a unique track in the sense that this is part of the MSV track. So what that means is that is basically the organizer that owns all the tracks in the United Kingdom, as well as this one in Spain. Exception being there, of course, for Silverstone, but they own Donington Park, Oulton Park, Snetterton, Catwall Park, you name it. All those famous and popular circuits in the UK that are in Silverstone they own, and well, this is also one of those. Originally this was built as a little bit of a testing circuit actually, in the nice, warm, sunny Spanish weather. Now this time we're not seeing that unfortunately here. But as we're making our way through, we're going to get racing soon here. We've got quite a bit to do to try and make them some good positions here. We're going to have plenty of time of doing so. You can just see how tight those turns actually are, and you gotta make sure that you get the best out of it. So just making sure we've got everything under control. The heart rate is okay, the tires are nice and warm here, and we've got a tough lobby to try and see how far we can go. Base car is off now, which means that it's going to be dictated by the race leader here. They're all following a guideline as to come through here, and as we're making way to the straight, we are going to get ready soon to start racing here over at Circuito de Navarra. There's the green flag already. We are off here, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be watching a 15-minute race here around the Circuito de Navarra, and we're actually off to quite a decent start here. Looking to, of course, minimize damage and see if we can find some overtakes from some drivers and actually falling behind, or just seeing if we can, you know, make it through nicely, because eventually we're going to see people fighting anyways. Already there's a flag out, but it's immediately cancelled out, so we're back to green, luckily. The car on the right coming out. Two drivers have gone off there. They have touched each other. They were standing right next to each other. So that's just how it is at the start sometimes, you know. 3 positions here again as well. Immediately we're pushing up here. And, well, P13 is going to be... Yeah, that's basically just how this goes in a nutshell. It's a little bit of a tough one here. This series obviously only comes down to driver skill, as every single color is the same. Oh, there's a car driving off in front of us. There's actually 2 involved in that. There's another car into the grass to our right here, as you can see. And, well, we're looking to go now. There's so many drivers falling out early. And, well, that's just going to be 3 positions from us here. Well, that's one way to do it, I suppose, here. So, a good start over here just by staying out of trouble. The driver ahead of us has gone really wide there. Boris Polak there probably was a little bit too aggressive there, and that's what's costing me. Is going really wide, but we're not able to find a connection immediately. Another driver's into the grass now, so we gain another, and we're looking to keep it going here. 13.5 minutes left. So far so good. You're making way into this little bit more of a technical part of the circuit now. Less straights, mainly just making sure you keep at it over in these twisty turns, and quite a few quite tight corners too, so you got to be careful on your exits here. The elevation obviously playing a big part in that as well here as we go onto the AstroTurf for a little bit here, but that's no big deal. Look at how misty the weather is as well. We haven't even mentioned this here. The weather not looking too nice this time around. Now the track temp is okay, 19.4 degrees as we stand right now. There's not too much wind here. 11 kilometers an hour is pretty neglectable in those cars. Won't really feel it that much here. Ooh, that is a little bit of a wide driver there. Immediately sent down the inside here too. When, well, there we're able to once again get ahead here. Looked for a move potentially down the inside. The driver ahead of us lost control and is going to go straight into the barrier. Well, that's another position gain now. There's a move down the inside. Yeah, we want to make sure we keep the car going as is. So we're just going to leave him space. The iRacing rating is less important than the safety rating to us at the moment here. Our heart rate is spiking over to 100 as well. So that's quite interesting to see that one's going to come down. Now, at the moment, we're going to be seeing that another driver's gone off into the background and he goes into the sand, facing the wrong way. Now we're in P6 already here, so that's a great start. And that's just from keeping out of trouble as well. I mean, it's been 2 laps and all the other drivers have come off. And as we make our way through here, we're seeing as well that the driver ahead of us here is pushing out quite aggressively. So we're looking to see if we can potentially catch up here. Not yet at least here, but we're going to keep going at it. Making our way through the last and final sector yet again. As so far it's looked very good from us here. Now obviously we're up 10 positions from our starting position already, which is absolutely massive here, and the conditions are a little bit tough this time, but we have so far been able to handle it quite well. We have quite a big gap behind us as well. It's J Mas who's behind us, but he's so far gone that we can't even really see him in the rear view mirrors or in the camera that we have behind us here over in our BMW M for GT4. So far so good. Braking early, we're looking good, and now into the tighter right-hander of the two. Kind of reminds me of the last couple corners at Imola. Now obviously a little bit different in the fact that there actually is some tighter line there as well towards the end. And now we go into a little bit more of a faster sector here. This is quite a high-speed corner where we can go through in 4th if we do it nicely. You gotta make sure you're on the outside line now, as you gotta cut across yet again. So far we keep it quite clean. The laps are just looking quite solid now. Posting a lap time of 151.2 last time round here. Now that is a slight bit slower than the drivers behind us. There we gain a position over on the telemetry, but then immediately we see Oleg Petukov back in the server. I'm not so sure what's happened there, but it appears that we are all good to go now. It's going to be 10 more minutes on the clock here, and so far we are all good. Now, as we're looking to keep it going here, we're going to be making our way over to the tighter section yet again here. We're doing that quite solidly. Now we do see the driver in the rearview mirrors, but as his lap times, at least for now, are only like a second faster, I'm not too worried about that just yet. But we gotta keep it in mind as well. We gotta make sure we keep nailing every apex and every exit too. The main priority, obviously, to try and catch up to the drivers ahead. But so far, it looks like Oleg Petuklov is actually becoming a little bit further away from us now. Lap time's coming through as well from the race engineer here. We're going to be improving our lap by about a second, just about a second. Fastest lap of the session that is as well for us. So that's quite nice here. We're into the 47s. Actually we're not. The driver ahead of us has gone into the 47s. So we are into the 150s at least now. But no, it was actually Oleg Petukov who went into the 47s already. That is now the fastest lap of the session as well. Now obviously it also means that we kind of know that we're speaking of a different beast here. He can race, and sure we're quick, but are we that quick? A little bit too wide on the exit here is going to cost us quite a bit of time into what was so far a incredibly nice lap. There it goes, a little bit of acceleration now as well, and we see that we can once again drive away J Mas here from France. Petukov has made his way past Devin Leslie now, who's now the driver ahead of us here in P5. He was doing slower lap times than Oleg there, but unfortunately he is still a little bit quicker out on track right now. This lap is not looking good for a personal record as of yet, so we made a small mistake. This time the exit is quite okay though. We're going to try and keep going. Now we're actually going into territory. We were slightly faster for a couple milliseconds there, but then unfortunately we need to get on the throttle and we can't do that as fast as we wanted to. But we're looking good so far, so good. It's looking like a similar lap time as the last time. We're going to be trying to improve and get more times in as well, but we're already kind of halfway through the race here, so time has gone real quick. And as we're making our way through now, we're going to be seeing that we're once again on the main straight, where everybody is, apart from Marin, who's currently leading by a significant margin already. Note that Marin is from Iberia, so there's a chance that he's maybe from Spain too, and that he knows this track quite well. At least that's how it works with me. I like to race my local tracks quite a bit. There we're a little bit slow and a little bit low in the revs as well. Has allowed JMS to kind of close that gap now, but he's going to let us go a little bit more here. And this is what it feels like in the mirrors, but he's still closing along. Hoping to just find that distance somewhere soon. And he's looking for a potential mover down the inside. Can't nail it yet, at least. Now we go into the throttle again here. It's going to be a right-hander coming through.
4.9 seconds.
As we come at it. Now pushing through quickly. The driver behind us has kind of disappeared a little bit. So now we've actually got that gap going for us here. So it's not all horrible as of yet here. Heart rate's up to 100 now. The lap times, well, so far quite consistent. This one's a slight bit slower than the previous ones. So here comes a little bit of a tight corner yet again. It's an uphill corner too. Now in those heavy, low downforce cars, they don't have too much power in comparison. It's not horrible, but you would definitely feel that in, for example, the Formula 4 series, which is also one that we participate in. That is another fixed setup series as well. It's quite an interesting one, I must say myself. This time a really good first sector so far. We've snooped off about 0.2 of a second, turned that into 3 as the exit's good as well. So there are still hopes to catch up to Devin Leslie here, although he might be a little bit slim here. The lap has so far looked real solid, and that was just what we were hoping for. So predict it's going to go into the 49.5s for now, which is actually similar to the fastest lap of Devin Leslie here, which means that if we have that consistency, we'll be able to get up a little bit closer as well. And as we make it through the fast part of the circuit, this is quite a nasty corner where you got to get your car slowed in time. But we will. And now looking to push to the absolute limits onto the straights as well. It's just a matter of hitting your shifts. There's really nothing else to it at this point. As we go back to the tighter corners, we've got to make sure we hug the inside line before getting back to the outside line. That's how you keep your speed right. Outside, inside, outside. That's at least how it goes for the majority of the corner. And that's the principle that everybody was taught in racing school. Anybody's probably picked up from watching tutorials on YouTube as well here. Now, as you can see, once again, we're seeing some weird things happening over on the scoreboard, but we are still on P6, having not gained or lost much positions here. We're looking to keep that up here. We can only really rely on a miracle over on the drivers ahead of us here. That's going to be what we're hoping for. But in the meanwhile, we got to be worried about the rear view mirrors here. And the driver directly behind us is actually not a driver fighting for position. So it's not JMS behind us now. It's actually driver in P15. Now I can't see who that is, so actually I can. It's Benjamin Rosner, but he's on a different lap. And he is down by a significant margin here. So we're probably not going to be battling him as it looks right now. And even then, well, he's not much of a threat to us because he's still got more laps to do apparently. So he might have been a driver that started off in P17, but then unfortunately had a very weird start where he wasn't really on the start. That's what it feels like. Our heart rate is now slowly but surely rising to 100 here. There's 3 minutes left on the clock where we're going to be desperately trying to hold on to what we have right now. Because so far so good here. The lap times of JMS are getting quicker. Driver behind us made an ever so slight mistake there, but we also know that that's not the driver that we're looking to overtake you. So we're all good, honestly. As we come in again, it is going to be once again a tight right-hander here. Gotta make sure we absolutely nail it, and we do as well. Once again, this corner sequence is looking good. Now we're actually looking to improve on our record here. By a small margin, perhaps. It would be a nice little confidence booster here. We gotta nail every single corner though. And we're getting closer to the end of the lap now. So far it's looked real solid. This time you gotta make sure that you're on the right line towards the outside here. So you can cut across nicely here. We're a little bit too wide on the exit. And that's what's gonna cost us quite a little bit of time. It's actually an off-track as well. So that's going to cost us a little bit of time and also an off-track warning, which is obviously going to contribute to the incident points that we get this race. So even if you drive a completely clean race in terms of accidents, you can still get yourself some points deducted here for going off the track, cutting across, whatever, false starts, you name it. Everything counts into that as well here. Here we come onto the faster section of the circuit again. We're once again showing that we have that consistency now. Unfortunately, last time we made a small mistake, but other than that, we've been all solid all around. This time we go a little bit too wide and we see a driver go down the inside, but then it's going to park it on the apex. Now note that that was not a driver fighting for position here, but at least now we're clear of him. It's cost us quite a bit of time though, and obviously we're not worried about the driver ahead of us escaping. We might be able to utilize the strip steam, however. But the main priority is currently fighting off JMS, who's right behind us. Obviously, he's only got a minute to do so. So as long as we maintain the gap as it currently is, we're going to be okay. But it is most definitely going to be a little bit of a tough task coming out here. Now, looks like we've still got a fair gap behind us. So I'm not so worried about it as of yet here. Fuel's looking good. The tires still feel pretty okay as well. I'm really glad to see that it's not raining. 30 seconds to try and get something done. Time's going to be ticking away. So as the driver in first has crossed the finish line just now, we are soon going to enter our last lap here. Because Marin obviously can't come in again to do another lap.
Car right, still there.
Car to the right. That's a little bit of a center by JMS. Once again an off track for us, unfortunately here. The white flag is out. So we're getting closer towards the end now. As we start to get it going, we're going to be on the end rather soon. As we push here, there's very little time left for him to do anything. So we just got to make sure that we keep our cool for the last potential laps here. Now do note as well as the driver behind JMS, Omar Fazio, has not been able to keep up with the pace here of JMS. So that's good news for us because that means there's quite a little bit of a gap between them. That if something goes wrong, in case Murphy's Law applies, we're going to be good enough at least for P7 still. But obviously our main priority now is P6, and it looks like we have got a little bit of a gap again. And as long as we're nailing our lines, as long as we treat it like it's qualifying, it's not going to get closer to us. At least not by such a big market share that's going to bring us into problem. Now, do notice while we are in the straight, we're going to see a little bit of a slipstream coming through, but he's quite far, so the benefits are not that big. That's a little bit of a scent down the inside. There's a touch as well. Oh, not like that. At least we can keep it going again. That was quite unfortunate. Oh man, that does hurt, does it? But at least we stay ahead. Now that's going to be quite unfortunate here for our incident points as well, so we're looking to keep it clean. And as we make our way through, we got another right-hander coming up. Then a little bit of a faster section. And then we have one last right-hander to tackle as well here. So now we got to make sure that we nail the lines here. To push up as well. Time's now ticking away yet again. And oh, another move down. Yeah, we're just going to park it on the apex. You're not going to get by, however. JMS is super aggressive onto this. And the checkered flag is out for us here. And it's a drag race towards the finish here. But we will take P6 home. There's nothing that he can do. And that is, yeah, not as intended, obviously. And now the aggressive send down the inside here too. We're just going to make sure we follow the rest here so that we minimize our incident points. It's a neat little trick that we've got going for us. Now, to give you an idea, we finished 6th here over in a strength of field of 817. So we were actually not supposed to do that well, but we have. It's 5 incident points in the end. Definitely a manageable number here, which has increased our safety rating ever slightly to 3.33. Now, our iRacing rating, however, that is the racing that we did see jump up all the way. That is now 573. So we're making nice recoveries after having struggles with our internet. We're back up to 58 extra points. 573 total is going to be a great result for us here. Now, we get 34 points. And then we have a overall standing of 906 out of 1505 with a total of 97 championship points. Now, if you look at the total season standings here, we're 601 out of 3,102. So the season standings for the third race were 906 out of 1505. That's 601 out of 1,300. Which are actually in the top 20% basically. Not bad at all. Now, J Mass was a little bit frustrated with us as well, as you might be able to tell. Actually had a little bit of a problem with us, and there were some contacts between us, and they said that they will actually report us here, but nothing's come out of it just yet here. But yeah, he was quite optimistic there, so we're going to leave it here to the fantasy as well. So we are going to come in yet again. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys next week.